As always, I'm here to be your Muslim best friend. If you don't have one, your MBFF, especially during Ramadan. I think it's really important you have a Muslim friend. Quick thing, 183. What is 183? That's how many days to the most important election of our lives. That's the day we take the huge step to crushing Trump and Trumpism. So on today's show, got a great show. Former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Julian Castro, going to join us. Congressman Ruben Gallego from Arizona, and our friend Rick Unger. And by the way, the show, you can listen for free on SiriusXM. It's free, absolutely. No sign up, no scam, nothing. From now to May 15th, just go to SiriusXM.com. Check out the website. It says start streaming. Click on it. Go to the channel where my show's on, channel 127 Progress. Check it out. But on the show tonight, we're going to talk with these great guests. But the first part, you are my guest. The topic we're talking about is to Donald Trump. The biggest victim of this coronavirus pandemic is Donald Trump. He is the king of victimhood. We saw it over the weekend. Again, I'll go through examples of it. And worst of all, this victimhood, while we view it as pathetic, Trump's base likes it. In fact, it's empowering to them. That's why when you see his supporters angry and armed, go into capitals, whining about they can't go to the Olive Garden for unlimited breadsticks. Like, I want my breadsticks. This is like Nazi Germany. They know nothing about history. But it's the same thing. It's Donald Trump's victimhood. He plays that. Their lives are unfair. They can't go boating. So everything is horrible. It's the world they live in. Oh my God, I can't play golf today. This is as bad as slavery. And these are the actual words they use on Twitter and in their signs. And so on the show, we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about Donald Trump's tweets over the weekend, his comment last night on Fox News that he's been treated worse than any president, including Abe Lincoln, which is why I'm wearing the Lincoln shirt. Abe Lincoln was assassinated. I think Mrs. Lincoln might disagree with Donald Trump. But again, there you go. It's Trump's victimhood. And now this victimhood is manifesting in not just these protests. Over the weekend in Oklahoma, there was the mayor who had invoked the idea that everyone who goes to a retail store has to wear a mask. You know, a surgical mask. What happened? Well, some right-wingers got upset. They cursed at the store employees. They actually threatened one with violence. Actually, more than one with violence, one with a gun. Because you don't tell them what to do. Because it's white privilege / entitlement. So the mayor of this town in Oklahoma rescinded that. And again, this is part and parcel of Trumpism. Trumpism is selfishness and cruelty. In fact, it is a celebration of selfishness and cruelty, not caring about others. We wear a mask, as Governor Cuomo said, and I'll play it on my show. You wear a mask not to protect yourself, but to protect others. That's why you're doing it. But if we all wear it, we are actually on some level helping all of us together. But that's too much for Trump support. Same thing with social distancing. That's too much. They want it now. And they don't care who dies. So they can go to Cheesecake Factory and have dinner with their friends there. They don't care who dies if they're not going to wear a mask and they don't have symptoms, but they end up giving out the virus to people because they are infected. They don't care. And again, that's another reason why in 183 days, we have to defeat Trump. Because that's the first step to driving Trumpism, this vile, hateful philosophy, if you want to call it that celebrates cruelty and selfishness, and of course white supremacy and sexism, drive it to the fringes of society. Belongs on the fringes. It belongs there with the Klan and the neo-Nazis and all the vile parts of our society. That's Trumpism. And one day in the future, I hope not the distant future, historians will look back at Trumpism and understand Trumpism is no different than white supremacy and white supremacism. And it's no different than sexism and racism. It's an ism. And the best way to confront it is drive it back to the fringe of society. That's what it was. So we'll talk that more on the show today. By the way, I didn't do a live stream last week before my show because I gave myself a self-haircut. And it's finally looking slightly better now. A little word of advice, if you're giving yourself your own haircut and you go, oh, I cut that a little wrong, let me even that out on the other side. The minute you start evening out, it's over. It's just put the scissors down and walk out of the kitchen. It is no good. And apparently I didn't cut the back of my hair, so now I have I have a mullet. I have a mullet, but I call it a Muslim mullet. I have a Muslim mullet right now. I'm not going to show it to you. I'm too embarrassed. I'm going to shave it before tomorrow because I noticed in the mirror, I'm like, I've got a mullet. All right, so don't go anywhere. Go 6:05 p.m. I'm on from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, channel 127 on Sirius XM. Again, it's free, or go right now. Check out my buddy, Michelangelo Signorelli, is hosting right now. Listen to him for free. Then stick around to my show. And more importantly, in the first hour, you are my guest. I want to hear from you about Donald Trump's selfishness and victimhood and how it's inspiring a generation of his followers not to care about anyone else and why that actually is a horrific development for our nation as a whole. And how 4 more years of that, I can't even picture how it would impact people, a celebration of cruelty and selfishness. So be back with the Dino Vidala Show, 6 p.m. channel 127. It's free. Hopefully you'll be there.